Hey guys, it's Mulligan and welcome to episode 9 of Eternal Errors. For those new, this is a series where we analyze my misplays and open up discussion on what the correct play is in that given situation. The goal is that, hopefully, players learn from my mistakes and make the correct plays instead. And we've got another mixed bag of sorts for this episode. With the Eternal Throne metagame coming to a close, I wanted to look over some of the misplays I've made with the decks I used that didn't make the last episode I did in this style. That was a mashup of decks as well. So we're kind of sending the set 1 metagame off on a lighter note. But hopefully you guys will still enjoy this one. We'll be tackling Armory, Felnscar Control, and the Rakano Burn Brew that I got from Unearthly. Let's jump in. So the first game is against Fizzpot, who is on Rakano Plate, and I am on Armory. Now, I managed to get a Finest Hour out of my opponent's hand with Rakano Artisan during combat. After going for the double torch on Crown Watch Paladin and successfully killing it, I confirmed that the other fast spell in my opponent's hand was Torch. Now later, my opponent had their own Sword of Icaria equipped, so I went with my own Sword of Icaria over Rise to the challenge, knowing Torch was still in hand to either kill my opponent's sword or draw out the Torch. This turned out to be a mistake. I should have casted Rise for another Runehammer to get around it instead, but the Warcry stack really scared me. Between the earlier attack from Crown Watch Paladin, a Hammer of Might from earlier, and my opponent's Sword of Icaria, they were at +5, and everything that had been played up until this point was not buffed. So whatever my opponent had in hand or was going to top deck would be huge. And I wanted to slow down the Warcry train before it got even more out of hand. Granted, it ended up not mattering since the Sword of Icaria would still get torched anyway. And I'd be in the same situation with one less health, facing Crown Watch Paladin and Sword of Icaria instead of the Champion of Glory. This is assuming my opponent is competent though, and expected me to get another Runehammer though, by playing Champion of Glory as bait and holding the Paladin until the Runehammer got removed. Then again, if Fizzpot played the exact same way, this Hammer of Might still ended the game for me. This next game is against Uhen MTG, who's on Mono Time, and I'm on Felnscar Control. I've done a pretty good job so far of keeping my opponent's side of the board clean, but when this Ageless Mentor comes down, I decide to let it just hit me for a couple of turns to try to buy time and draw into some more cards. However, I completely forgot about Zenith Obelisk. I really needed to torch the Mentor before that happened. I was trying to use my life total as a resource, which you should do in general when playing Feln or Felnscar Control decks, but I should have picked up that my opponent missed the power drop earlier. This forced me to use Charchain Flail to clear the Mentor, which I did not want to do. I'd much rather save the Flail for a threat that my other removal in hand can't deal with. Later on, I used the other Torch on the second Initiate to try to slow my opponent down so they won't get to 8 power too quickly. Otherwise, Stray in the Shadow ends up being pretty bad. Using Torch on it was also a misplay, since I completely forgot that Veteran Mercenary is a card now, and I got punished. Stray plus Torch would have dealt with the Mercenary and Dawnwalker, and I wouldn't have had to take 9 damage. And towards the end of the game, I also could have chump blocked with the World Pyre Phoenix to get it back and make it bigger, since I had the power to play it for turn 9. That would have bought me at least another turn. Finally, we've got a game against Panhan Go, who's on Voda Combo, and I'm on Rakano Burn. A Voice of the Speaker gets played, and she didn't really concern me until Seraph came down. And that's when I got spooked from the possibility that in 2 turns I could get outvalued out of the game. So I ended up using Torch to kill the Voice of the Speaker. However, if I just went with Torch to the face to try and win instead of killing the Voice to slow him down, I could have won the game, since I immediately top decked Caleb's favor right after I used Torch. It would have been enough burn over 3 turns, and I could just chump block until then. I think I got tunnel vision and was only focused on killing his units with my burn cards so my units could get through, when I should have tried to play to my outs and go all face with the burn. Granted, some of these lists do run protect, but I hadn't seen a pause from Panhandgo up until this point. That's it for this episode of Eternal Heirs. Thank you so much for watching. I do have other episodes in my mind that I want to try to do for some specific decks, but this one will very likely be the last one that we do for the set 1 metagame. But feel free to leave a like if you liked the video, and as always, if you guys would have handled any situation shown today differently, or if you have any ideas for this series, let me know in the comment section below. Feedback is appreciated. For those new, if you like what you saw, feel free to check out my previous episodes in this series by clicking the link on your screen. And also, subscribe if you don't want to miss future episodes. Clicking the bell icon will guarantee that you never miss a video from me, for those that don't mind notifications. Anyway, thanks again for taking time out of your day to watch this, and until next time, take care.